All right, we are officially live, you guys. It is the College Football Recruiting Live Show, and I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. You're rocking with Before You Go Pro, so we're excited that you guys are joining us tonight. Once again, we do this every single Tuesday. Every single Tuesday during the college football recruiting season, because we want to make sure that you guys get a chance to go play college football. A lot of athletes miss out on the opportunity, you guys, because they don't have their ducks in order. They don't have the right things in place. Maybe they don't have relationships or a coach at their school that's really promoting them and helping them. So we want to gear you guys to make sure that's not your issue, because as somebody that played college football, trust me, it's an experience you will never forget. You will never forget it, and we want all of you guys to experience it. So once again, thank you for joining us. If you're joining us for the first time, we're going to have an opportunity for Q&A, okay, you guys? So if you do have recruiting questions that pertain to your particular situation, do not hesitate. Put them in the comment section. The comment section is live. I know Coach Foss will be with us. He's helping moderate things too. So this is all for you. This is to serve you athletes that want to play at the next level. So first and foremost, I am your host once again, Coach Terrence Wood. This is a labor of love for me. You guys, I look at Before You Go Pro as a ministry. We help athletes across the country, only football players. You know, you guys have a very particular life, and we want to make sure that we're on top of it. So we want to only focus on football players, and that's what we do. I do have a history of football myself, so this is somebody that isn't just talking to you guys, throwing things out of thin air. This is somebody that has actually lived the journey that you want to embark upon. That's me in the middle screen. I did play at the University of Colorado. That game was versus Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. I was fortunate enough to play in the Arena Football League and in Canada. And my grandfather is a professional football Hall of Famer. So this is very much so, you guys, family business. And his name is Willie Wood. We have helped athletes across the country, as I have said to you guys before. We don't care where you're at. All that we are worried about is if you're ready to go, if you have grades, and if you can run the play. When we say, hey, contact this coach, when we say, hey, we need your transcripts, if you can run the play, and if you have a little huddle film and we evaluate your film, it doesn't matter what level of college. We help athletes from major Division I Power 5 schools all the way down to NAI. The bottom line is getting to college. So these are some of our athletes, you guys, that we have helped get college across the country, and there's hundreds and hundreds more. So we have massive relationships that if you're with us, then we can pass those relationships on to you, and we can leverage those relationships to help you get where you want to go. Right here's a perfect example, you guys, of relationships. And for my athletes that have been with me, my team, Coach Foss, Coach Jannard, you guys know that I think of the football industry no different than the entertainment industry in movies, the entertainment industry in music. Some of you guys have friends, or maybe yourself want to be in the music industry too. You have to have a demo tape. You've got to have a track record. You've got to have some gigs that we've listened to. You've got to have something that people can evaluate. So, and with football, you guys, it doesn't start until varsity. So you may have ripped it up for 4 touchdowns in that freshman game or that junior varsity game. But when it really starts where the college recruiters are interested is varsity ball. So here is an example of a college recruiter major, Power 5, not Power 5, but Division 1A FBS level school, Ball State. They play in the MAC. And this is Coach Cormier and us his thumbs up, his approval. Right here, you guys, we always try to get athletes on campus, so we have to be practitioners of that. here is a college tour that we had, and the athletes were at San Jose State. You see the great Alonzo Carter, Coach Carter. Relationships can move your situation faster. Sometimes it's not necessarily your talent on the field. It's not necessarily your grades. It may just be the school you're at where you're underexposed. It may be the fact that the coach has you in the wrong position, that you're sucking it up for the team and you're playing D-line, but you're really a linebacker. So this may have thwarted or kind of pushed back your recruiting experience or exposure, you guys. So it's key that once you realize you are delayed or that you aren't on track maybe to be recruited or the phone's not ringing, that you're connected with a school or an organization like ours, you guys, that has relationships. So right here, I just showed you Coach Carter on the left. This is live. This is real time. If you look at the dates, that's August 21st right there where he says he came through today and connected. We had an athlete that's still looking for an opportunity. He actually happens to be a student at San Jose State University. So I'm contacting, using leverage and relationships to contact Coach Carter and say that you've got a diamond in the rough. You've got a diamond in the rough named Nasir Pitters right in your backyard. He's already on campus. And Coach said he came through today. And we connected. And I talked to Nasir, and now it's looking like maybe after game 3, and he got injured in high school. His knee is healing up, that he's going to get that opportunity to be on San Jose State's team. So sometimes it's not your talent, because Nasir's got a ton of talent. It's just about the exposure, the timing, and the opportunity, you guys. So there's a perfect example of some of the leverage that we have in the industry. Who is this for? This is for the go-getters. This is for the serious athletes, not the ones that just want to go out for homecoming and wear the jersey. We're not doing that because you're not going to have enough bandwidth, enough hunger and desire to get to the college level or to survive at the college level. So we can't deal with you people. This is for the ones that really want to go get it. Okay, this is for the ones that maybe want some dollars in their back pocket to go get it. That's who this is for. So we want you guys to experience this type of feeling where everybody in the picture smiling, and then behind the picture, your parents are smiling and they're happy for you. In this game, and you guys will constantly hear me throughout the fall talk about the recruiting calendar, ncaa.org. Get familiar with it. You have to get familiar with the things that are, I don't want to say a hurdle, but you have to get familiar with the things that you have to check off to go to the next level. So you can't just say, I want to go play at Cincinnati or I want to go play at Florida and just work out on the field. There's other things that you have to check off outside of the field. And ncaa.org, one of the things that you want to say on your tab of your laptop, your phone, what have you. The ones who are hungry, yes, I see the great Coach Hughes. Yes, indeed. And his son is amazing. And we're working the same deal with his son over at UNLV. But yes, the ones that are hungry are the ones that survive, and Coach Hughes knows that. So everything, you guys, is ran off of the recruiting calendar. And the beautiful thing about that is you can kind of know where you're at. It's just like a young lady who's pregnant. If my baby hasn't dropped in 9 months, then Doc has to tell me something. Or if this baby is ready to come out before 9 months, then Doc has to tell me something. Same thing with the recruiting calendar, okay? But there are variables. Let me take a sip of water here. There are very much so variables, you guys, because not everything is like a round peg, trying to go through a round hole. Sometimes it's a square peg trying to go through a round hole, or a round peg trying to go through a square hole. It might not work, this recruiting tactic or strategy with this person that we use for that person. Okay, so with our athletes that are in the Before You Go Pro program, it's very much so with a lot of them a case by case, one by one basis that we have to take it. Now, sometimes they fit. You got somebody that went to this high school similar, or they went to the same high school, same type of athlete, and we know what that college coach likes. So that's going to fit. But other times we got to get creative. We've had kids with no film. Maybe there was a big injury and we had to get creative. So you guys keep that in mind. Not all the situations are the same. There are definitely recruiting variables that can affect your situation. Here are some of them. Here are some of the key kind of levers that will affect your recruiting, whether for the positive or for the negative. You guys, core GPA. If you don't know what a core GPA is, you definitely are in the right spot. You need to come every single week because you're a little behind right there, but that's okay. Huddle film. Your huddle film is going to be a variable that's going to determine what level of college football you can play at. Athlete size is a variable. You may be a beast coming off the edge. You may have 20 sacks, this season, and wondering why your phone isn't ringing off the hook or why it's only ringing from the D3s and the NAI schools. And nothing wrong with those schools, but you're thinking, hey, 20 sacks, defensive player of the year in my conference. I'm thinking I should hear from bigger schools. Well, it may be because of your size. And maybe because of your size. These are legit variables. If you want a model and you're beautiful, but you're only 5'9", that might not get you on the runway. That might get you in some print ads, but that's not going to get you on the runway. Your position is something that's a variable. How is your position a variable? You may ask. Your position is a variable because, and I'm going to show you here shortly, depending on your position, you may have to be a lot more proactive with your recruiting than the next kid. You may have a best friend and you're a quarterback and he's a DB. He can kind of sit back, and you should never really sit back, but he may be able to be a little less proactive with his recruiting because it's not such a position where, quarterback, they're only going to take one, maybe two. And it's only, you guys have heard me say, it's only going to be one high school kid. So these are variables, Here's one. Look at the third one to the bottom. That's an interesting one, right? Family background. What did I tell you in the beginning of this of Recruiting Live episode? My grandfather is a Hall of Famer. I'd be naive not to think that didn't help me. Of course, like if I want to get into the music industry and my grandmother or my grandfather has a Grammy, that's going to help you. So family background is a variable, you guys. It's a real thing. I might be a record label and I like both of these singers, but this one is Diana Ross' daughter. We're going to go with Diana Ross' daughter or Beyonce's daughter, so we're going to take a shot. We're going to take a shot. So that's a very real variable. Look at the second to last one, you guys. School. The school you attend. You may be Munoz family. We see you coming out of Texas. That's a football state right there, boy. Every time I watch film, and we watch a lot of film with Before You Go Pro, I can tell right away. There's two states, you guys, where I can tell right away, not by the talent, but by the spectacle, by like the band and the cheerleaders and the stand. There's two states where I can tell right away it's probably one of these two states. That's Texas and Georgia. Football is a little different in Texas and Georgia. So Munoz family, we're happy to have you. We're talking variables. And his son goes to a very, very good school, so his son's school is checking the box in the variable. Coach feedback. You guys see the last one. Coach feedback is going to be huge most of the time. You never know what a coach is saying behind closed doors, you guys. So these are variables that you guys want to keep in mind. Now, with Before You Go Pro and with the Recruiting Live show every Tuesday. Now, once again, and please like and subscribe and tell all your teammates, the serious ones. Tell your teammates. We want to blow up our football community, you guys, and we need your help. With the Recruiting Live show, we'll go through some teaching topics, but we're going to be using one of our own athletes. So an athlete that we work with, because they all have different cases and you guys can learn a lot from the different cases. Okay. And then obviously if you're a Before You Go Pro athlete, you're in our group program or our one-on-one program, then you get the recordings. They're live on YouTube for a little while, but they will come down eventually. So you guys, tonight, I've got a young man that I want to talk to you about, and we're going to go through his recruiting situation. Once again, we're talking about the variables, if you're just joining us, that affect your recruiting. Now, tonight, this is the one. This is the one that we're going to be talking about tonight, is your position. A lot of people don't understand that your position very much so can affect, like I said, how proactive you need to be with your recruiting. Some positions are different than others as far as the timeline with the recruiting. So these three positions, you guys, right here, and some of you guys who are watching this live, some of you guys who are watching this recording, if you're watching this live, comment section is available. If you have comments that pertain to your particular recruiting situation, then feel free to put them in the comment section, but we're going to hold that until the end. If you're watching the recording of this, the evergreen copy, then you can email us at info@beforeyougopro.com, or Terrence, that's my name, at beforeyougopro, TERRENCE, at beforeyougopro.com, and email us your questions, or at beforeyougopro, all one word, on all the social media channels. You can reach out to us. But these three right here, you guys are very, you got to be early with these. The colleges start recruiting these three positions earlier than others. So you want to be proactive, okay? If you're playing one of these positions, especially, really hear me on this, especially if you're a senior that hasn't got the school you want yet, or the interest that you desire yet, and you feel like you're a high-level player. And when I say high level, I mean any level of college is tremendous. But if you feel like you're a high-level D2 player, a Division I player where a lot of money may be involved, then, and you play one of these positions, you need to be proactive with your recruiting. So tonight, you guys, we're going to go over young Chris McFoley. Chris McFoley is an amazing young man. He plays football in Florida. He's part of our Before You Go Pro family. He just joined maybe 2-3 months ago, and we're very excited about Chris. He's got great grades. He's an honor roll student, I think around between 3.1, 3.3, and a good quarterback, about 6'1", 185 pounds. Okay, you guys, and I should have put his measurables here so you guys could see. I usually do that, so forgive me on that. But Chris McFoley is who we're going to go through tonight. Okay, now once again, keep in mind I said quarterback is different, because your position matters. So quarterback, we have to be proactive. So we're being very proactive with Chris, because they're only going to recruit you guys one. They're only going to recruit one at those three positions. If you're a high school kid, that's what you should anticipate. That's what's typical. Now, every blue moon, you might get Memphis bringing in 2 high school quarterbacks. You might get Kentucky bringing in 2 high school running backs. But in today's day and age, especially with the transfer portal, and especially if you think you're a very high-level young athlete, you need to be proactive at these three positions, because they're only going to recruit one out of high school, okay? So we know that with Chris. We know that when we look at our seniors, we put our quarterbacks to the top of the list. Coach Foss knows that. So great quarterback out of Florida, you guys. So when we're looking at his situation, I just don't want to tell you guys something and not show you. I don't want to just tell you and not show you. So I'm going to actually show you examples of what I'm talking about here. So if you're looking at 24/7 Sports and you're looking at the top 24, so this is the recruiting class that's seniors right now. This is the current rankings as we speak. You see Georgia and you see Texas A&M at the bottom 5, right? Okay. So I don't want to just pick the top of the top schools. So I'm going to go to the top 25, which happens to be North Carolina. They're the 25th ranked team right now in college football rankings as far as recruiting. So if you look at their numbers on the right-hand side here, or let's start on the left-hand side, hard commits. hard commits. These are kids that have already said they want to sign with North Carolina. Now, it could change because signing day is not officially until the end of December. But right now, as we speak, these kids are saying they want to indeed commit to North Carolina. And once again, this is live, right? So out of the 26 kids that want to commit, guess how many are quarterbacks? There's only one, you guys, who's a quarterback, and it's this kid named Michael Merringdinger. Now, there's a few things I want to point out to you guys. One thing is the recruiting recruiting geographic calendar. Every school, you guys, has a geographic calendar that they go by. Now, every once in a while, they'll go outside of it, but for the most part, they're going to want to stick to it. Now, quarterback is one position. I'll be honest with you. Quarterback is one position where they will stretch past their typical geographic calendar. But if you see where the arrow's pointed, this is North Carolina we're talking about, right? Number 25 right now in recruiting rankings. That's them. This is their typical recruiting calendar. That's where they want to stick to, you guys. Okay. So let's find out where this young man is from. This young man, let's see it. All right. We don't have the slide, but he is actually from North Carolina. So this kid that is the only quarterback that they're bringing in is from North Carolina, I believe. He's from the South, Michael. Now, what I also want to show you is if you guys are looking here, he got the offer from North Carolina May 6th, and then he committed May 7th. So what does that tell you? That tells you that he was waiting on that offer. He got exactly what he wanted. He committed right away. He had multiple offers. A matter of fact, if you guys look at the first offer he got his first offer all the way from Georgia Tech back in August of 2021. So he's got FIU, he's got FAU, he's got Brown, he's got Bowling Green. So he's been getting offers. But as soon as he got the North Carolina offer May 6th, which is, 3 months ago, he jumped on it. He jumped on it right away. So he knew what he was looking for. They had probably had an interest in him, been talking to him, maybe didn't get the other quarterback that they wanted, and they got him. Now, they've got a quarterback that's a phenom, and that's a sophomore right now that we all know that is Drake May. But check where he's from. You guys see on the left hand right there, he's from Huntersville, North Carolina. So we're talking about North Carolina. They've got a phenom right in their backyard. Obviously, they're going to recruit him. But once again, I'm not just going to tell you these things, you guys. I want to show you because I need you to know how recruiting works. If you're with us, I want you to know what we're doing and how we're operating so it makes sense to you. I want to teach you how to fish instead of just bring in the fish. If you're not with us and you're just utilizing the free game, I want you to know how it works. So hopefully when you win, you can point to us and say that you won through us. So I'm telling you guys this for a reason. Once again, you're looking at the arrow. That's North Carolina, the University of North Carolina. A lot of us would want to play on Chapel Hill. That's where Michael Jordan went. Everything's Nike. Well, if I'm a high school quarterback in Texas, or if I'm a high school quarterback maybe in Cali, and I've always dreamed of playing for North Carolina because I like Drake May, these are the quarterbacks, you guys, on their roster. They've got 5 quarterbacks on their roster, and you see where they're from? They're all from either North Carolina or Alabama, and it's falling right there in that fence, you guys. So very, very rare that they're going to go out of their area. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this, because if you fall in one of these positions, you need to be proactive. But if you fall in one of these positions, really, if you're a high school kid in general, and you're not a 5-4 or high level 3-star kid, you need to pay attention to the schools around the state in which you're in. Especially if you don't have anything right now and you want to just get something in your back pocket. You want to just get something in your back pocket first, and most likely it's going to come from one of the schools centered around your state. So once again, we're talking about our own quarterback, right? Chris McFoley, great quarterback out of Florida. He's a before you go pro athlete. And with Chris McFoley, he got a film evaluation from our department, from Coach Foss and our team. He got a film evaluation. Now, the film evaluation that we give our athletes, it tells us what level of football we think that they can play at, but not just what level of football we think they can play at, you guys, what level of football we think that they can play early. Because the athletes that have a chance to possibly play by their sophomore year are the athletes that we typically see are the most happy with their college situation and not necessarily jumping in the portal. Okay, so when we're looking at Chris's situation, once again, we're keeping in mind he's from where, right? He's from Florida. That's where the arrow's pointed. So we're not going to spend a bunch of time trying to go to Nevada, Arizona, Washington to get him some interest, because it's most likely not going to happen. He's not a 5'4", high-level 3-star recruit. He may be one day, but he hasn't been deemed so yet. Now, his film grade, you guys, his film evaluation told us this. That's what his film evaluation told us. And really, before you guys should start DMing coaches, emailing coaches, trying to do outreach, pitching yourself to coaches, recruiting coordinators, player personnel people. For one, you need to know who to reach out to. But for two, you need to get your film evaluation, okay? So his film evaluation told us what? It told us he was an FCS D2 level quarterback, which is an extremely high level quarterback. Which means what? And he's one of those three positions, which means we got to get going, right? So FCS D2 level quarterback, we know that he's in Florida. This is the mode of operation, you guys, okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to start looking at schools that are going to be within that fence of your area, and you need to think about your own particular situation. So these are schools, you guys, that are FCS schools, Division I schools that are in the fence of where Chris is located. Once again, we're talking over our own quarterback in the Before You Go Pro family, Chris McFoley out of Florida, and we want to get him an offer in his back pocket, right? So we don't want to waste time. You're looking at his fence right here. His fence is Florida, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia. His fence is in Cali. So he may like USC, but USC is not who we're reaching out to for him. Why? For two reasons. One, because we didn't grade him at a USC level. We graded him at an FCS, which for us old schoolers is Division I AA, high D2 level. That's where we graded him at. And then also, we wouldn't, even if he was that level, he could play at that level. USC may stretch for a quarterback, but most likely they're not going to recruit across the country. That's not where we're going to try to get him his first offer under his belt. Now, I want you guys to get a feel for Chris's talent. So I've got his highlights. These are junior year highlights. These aren't his senior year highlights, but check out Chris McFoley's highlights so you guys can see what type of talent that we're working with here. Okay, so as you guys can see, Chris has some talent. Once again, about 6'1", 185 pounds, and he's got an FCS D2, high D2 level grade, right? So we're looking at schools in Florida. And when we're talking about, okay, coach, well, what type schools would be schools of that level? Keep in mind, he might also be in play for an HBCU, a historical black college. You do not have to be black, just in case you guys have ever wondered. You do not have to be black to go to a historical black university. Matter of fact, there's been plenty of great players that were Latin, Caucasian, so you do not have to be black to go to a historical black university, but it might be a good spot for him. And it is something that we've talked about before and that he has some interest in. So these are the type of schools, you guys, right here that we would target for someone like Chris, someone that is looking for a great quarterback, a Morgan State, a South Carolina State. You look down here at the bottom, a UT Martin, a Tennessee State. You guys, the Tennessee's right there in his border. It's right there on his fence. Here's some more Division I schools. These are some HBCUs of Florida A&M. Now, once again, he's out of Florida. You guys got a chance to see his film. He's talented. He's in Florida, so he's playing against great talent. So these are some of the schools, Jackson State, Grambling, that we would target at the Division I level for Chris. These are some of the Division II schools that we would be looking at: a West Alabama, a Shorter, a Valdosta. As the college season continues to roll on, and a lot of these colleges start to see what their needs are, it also gives us a better picture of who may need some quarterback talent. So that's something that you guys need to keep in mind too, is that yeah, sometimes it sucks a little bit maybe to be late or that you haven't got yours yet, but a lot more things will come to light as we have more time to see how these colleges perform. There's kids that may have a scholarship right now to Texas Tech, or may have a scholarship right now to the University of Washington, and for some reason that that coach leaves. Maybe he gets another job. Maybe he gets fired. And now that kid is like, wow, I thought I was going to this school. And if I would have been more patient before committing and telling all those other schools no, I wouldn't be in limbo right now. And I've seen that happen. So sometimes you guys don't be in full despair because you got to wait a little bit longer. Some of the best situations come to those who wait, you guys. So that is how we're approaching Chris's situation. Once again, starts with film evaluation. So we need to know what level of college football can he play early, possibly? Can he play early? Then we have to look at transcripts. Some of you guys have talent, but you don't have the grade to get into Stanford. You don't have the grades to go play at Vanderbilt. So we need to see transcripts to know what level schools you can get in academically. And then obviously we don't want anything social. And keep in mind, you guys, social is online and offline, and the colleges are checking. They are definitely checking. They have designated people, especially the higher the level you go, designated people to check your social media. That's their only job is the kids they're recruiting scrub your social media, and they'll even look at your parents' social media. So you guys keep that in mind. But that is how we are attacking Chris is recruiting. So you guys need to keep these things in mind for yourself. Once again, key levers or variables that are going to be critical with whether or not you get the scholarship, whether or not you get the bag. These are things that you guys want to make sure you have in order. Then, if I'm one of these three positions, my recruiting is a little bit more urgent than any other position because they're probably going to take only one high school kid, if any. Okay. So if you're one of these three positions, you're going to be urgent. And then once again, especially if you don't have anything already in your back pocket, you're going to start building a fence around where you live, a few states around where you live, and then look at the schools around where you live that are in the area of your film evaluation, of your level of talent and your grades. Okay. And that's how you do it. You got to sniper shoot this thing because you're not going to have, if you don't already have a bunch of offers, that means you're not going to have 5, 6, 7, 8 offers. You're probably going to have 1, 2, maybe 4. So it's going to be right there. Get that first one right around home. Home is where the heart is. That's where you're going to get that first one. Okay. And then once again, it helps if you are with somebody, a school, you've got a trainer, you've got a recruiting mentoring service like ours that can help you and has relationships, because we also have blueprints to be able to get a bunch of kids to college, like all of these young men that you see here. This young man right here on the bottom that's holding up the footballs in the NFL right now, the San Jose State one, number 4. He's in the NFL right now. So we'll take you along the journey, baby, and we're going to stay with you every step of the way. Once again, you guys, this is going to be live every Tuesday. You'll be able to catch the recording, but they will come down eventually off of YouTube. The people that are in the Before You Go Pro program, you'll have the recordings for life. But this is an opportunity. A lot of you guys don't want to get help, or you think you got it covered. Then all of a sudden you realize, where am I going to college? And that's at the end of the season. We don't want that to happen to you. If you're proactive, you'll have options. If you're proactive, you'll have options. This is another thing we don't want you guys to forget. We don't want you to fully forget about the SAT and the ACT, because I know that when COVID hit, a lot of that got kicked to the side. A lot of that was out of the door. And there were some classes and some guys that got lucky because they might have struggled with that. I just talked to Coach Cormier not too long ago. Matter of fact, this is Coach Cormier right here. A lot of you guys would love to play at a Division I program like Ball State. They were on TV. They got killed, but they were on TV. Who did they play? Big time program last week. I want to say Big 12 or SEC, so a lot of you guys would love to play for Coach Cormier. I asked him, I said, hey, Coach, SAT, ACT, do they need it? Do they not need it? What he told me, so you guys keep this in mind for your own individual situation, what he told me was that if you're going to a Division II school, a Division III school, NAIA school, they're probably still going to want to see it. If you're going to maybe a Division I school, but it's a very high academic school, so I mentioned a Stanford, a Cal Berkeley, a Vanderbilt, then they're probably going to still want to see it. Now, if you're a superstar athlete, or even, they're looking at giving you a full ride or something, and you're going to a state school or a school that's not crazy high academically, then they probably will let you pass this year, class of 2024, with no SAT or ACT. But some of you guys might want to take it just in case. So if you haven't already studied, you want to keep that in mind. So we are to the Q&A question of part of tonight's show. So if you guys do have any recruiting questions that pertain to your situation, maybe how to get coaches to get back to you, which schools to approach, maybe you want to get a film evaluation, then definitely you guys need to put those comments in now. If you're watching the recording, once again, info@beforeyougopro.com, or Terrence, TERRENCE @beforeyougopro.com, and we can help you out. Before You Go Pro, you guys, is much more than just content. We do amazing content, in my opinion. I'm biased, but it's the best on the market, because we don't just hit on recruiting. We actually talk to the human being and the spirit. We want you guys to win off the field too. But 2024, if you are an athlete, you still need 2024 help because you're about to graduate. You don't know where you're going. Then we have a program for you. Matter of fact, I will put it in the comment section. And I see Coach Hughes. Coach Hughes is saying definitely BYGP. Legit folks, get on board. I love you, Coach Hughes. Thank you for saying that. And that's one of our parents right there. And he knows because he's seen it all. But I'm going to put the link in for you guys right here. If you're watching the recording of this, you may have to copy and paste. But this is the link, you guys, for our services. So if you are interested in a group plan or a one-on-one service to get to college and get some money under your belt, then please check that out. I just put it in the link, but we do help athletes. Now, here's the thing. we are only helping 100 to 120 athletes. It breaks down to about 10 per position, you guys. So we don't want all of you guys. We want you guys that are listening, because you guys are obviously taking it serious. But we don't want every athlete, because a lot of them aren't going to survive, or a lot of them aren't going to be attractive to a college recruiter when they look at their transcripts, or when they look at their social media, or when they talk to their coach about them. They're not going to be attractive. So we like to weed those people out from the beginning. And that's how we get down with Before You Go Pro. So we only want 10%. We call them 10 percenters. If we go talk to a team of 50, a team of 40, the varsity, we only want 4 or 5 of those kids. Okay. So that's why we limited you guys to only 10 to 12 athletes per position. So we are coming out with our college prospects page, actually probably tomorrow midday, and that is going to list initially some of the athletes that we rock with, the ones that are going to be sent out to college recruiters that, like Coach Cormier, like Coach Carter, that we have relationships with. So you definitely want to be on the Before You Go Pro college prospects page, and you have to be evaluated to be on that page. So we are watching the film before you get on that page. Now, you don't have to be a Power 5 level kid. You can be an NAI level kid. You could be a starter on your team. And here, let me tell you this. So many kids, you guys, can play college football at the next level, at some level, and get money towards it, and go to a great university and have a great experience, and they don't even try, man. They don't even try because they think they have to be so good. You don't have to be phenomenal. If you are a starter on your team, if you are an all-conference performer, you definitely should be trying to play some college football, and we can help you out, you guys. So you want to be on the college prospects page and be one of the 10 kids listed, one of the 10 young men to have your profile listed on our college prospects page. And it looks something like this. And all of our kids end up going to college and getting opportunities to show themselves. Okay. So also with that, you get the professional film evaluation. You have access to our membership portal. You have access to group coaching like we're doing now. And then you have access to the community in your profile page. Another thing that we need to mention, because we're all about cool stuff with Before You Go Pro, is we want to make sure your drip is right. We want to make sure that you're looking good and that you're catching the exposure. So when the recruiters come, that they say, man, who's that kid right there? He looks good. He plays good. I want him on my team. That's my type of athlete. So we are actually having, you guys, very cool, a custom cleats giveaway. A custom cleats giveaway. Matt Bustamante, he's one of the best in the game at being a shoe artist. He actually does regular shoes too, but he is our artist for the custom cleats giveaway. So if you want to, and a matter of fact, let me put that link in the profile too, because if you want to have the chance to have Matt, which is extremely cool, customize your cleats, then this is your actual chance to have him do that. And you can put whatever you want on those cleats. We'll facilitate everything, you guys, so you don't have to pay a thing. And Matt's going to hook you up, and you're going to be looking good this season. Now, you got to play good, and I'm going to put this link in the comment section. So the first link, whether you're watching this live or the recording, the first link is for our recruiting and mentoring program. And the second link that you guys see here is for the custom cleats giveaway. So if you have not joined that raffle, do that, because it shuts down next week. Tell your friends, copy the link, and share it with people you know, because it would be extremely cool for one of you guys to win the fact to have Matt customize your cleats. And you may know the college you're going to. You want him to put that on there, put your pet on there, put a name, or put caution or something. And it's not just cleats too, you guys. You get a custom backplate with it too. So he's giving custom cleats and custom backplate, all a part of our kickoff raffle special. And it's not just one winner. We actually are giving away 2 other prizes too, some consolidation prizes or consolation prizes. not consolidation, consolation prizes for the number 2 and number 3 person in that raffle. I think the second one is a $75 gift card to Dick's Sports. And then the third one, the third place prize, is a $25 gift card to Battle Sports. So you guys are going to be dripped and draped and ready to go. And that is it. Does anybody have any recruiting questions, any comments, any concerns? Obviously, this whole deal, you guys, is to inspire more of you to reach further and to reach for the opportunity to play at the next level. So many of you guys have the talent, but you might not have the support. You might not have the actual education or the step-by-step on some of the things that you need to concentrate on. You may not know some of the things that we talked about as far as the recruiting calendar, the core course GPA, your recruiting border as far as geographically. So we're going to cover these things week in, week out. So I hope you guys ride with us, and I hope you guys definitely share with your friends, your teammates, your coaches, because this is free and guaranteed to get you on the right track. If you have not already, greatly appreciated if you would subscribe to the Before You Go Pro channel. We put in a lot of work, you guys, to serve you and educate you and make sure you guys are on top in this crazy industry, because it does get crazy if you guys haven't noticed already. The football industry is a doozy. So join us on Thursday. We had a locker room show. We bring in industry experts, players, coaches, business professionals, NFL agents, Hall of Famers. We brought them in, all high school coaches, junior college, to teach you guys the game and to give you some advice. So every single Thursday live, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You can rock with me and Q, the guru, my co-host, and whoever we bring in that week, because we bring in a special guest every week. So last chance. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns centered around recruiting? You guys keep in mind, we're already in September, and the early signing period is at the end of December. So it's going to pop up very soon. The regular signing period is in February. That's going to happen right after that. And then people going to really start feeling left behind. And we're only doing this up until the regular signing period. So this is so that the excuses are gone. You can't say you didn't know. You can't blame coach if you're tapping it Before You Go Pro. Once again, please make sure that you subscribe to the Before You Go Pro channel. If you do want recruiting and mentoring support, this is the link that you go to, the members.beforeyougopro.com/sign up page. That's where you want to go. You could go to beforeyougopro.com/ scroll down to the bottom of the page, hit sign up, and go there. We've got 2 amazing programs, group program and our one-on-one service. And then if you guys are interested, I don't know why you wouldn't be, in joining the Cleats giveaway, you can click and copy that link and get to the Cleats giveaway too. Also, you can go to all of our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, obviously on YouTube, and at Before You Go Pro. And you can find all the links on our link tree for all of these things that we're discussing as well. But hopefully, you guys, this is fruitful for you. Hopefully some of the things that you are learning and picking up are cutting on that light bulb, and that you guys can execute, okay? Because we want to make sure all of you guys go to college. So unless anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, and I see the Munoz family, Ernest, saying, how about them Buffs? Definitely. And like I said, I'm a CU alum, so we're definitely happy about our Colorado Buffs and Coach Prime. We're facing the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We don't like red when it's this week. When it's this week in Boulder, you can't be wearing red. So, yes, definitely. Thank you, guys. So hopefully you guys had a good one. If you're just joining us, you're catching this late because you had practice or you're doing homework, run this back. Run this back, because we gave some sauce. We gave some recruiting tips and strategies, and then tap in every single Tuesday so that you guys can get college options under your belt. There's nothing left. I'll leave you with this, and I'll flash this picture one more time. There's nothing like this feeling, you guys. and I've had a chance to live it, so I can talk about it. There's nothing like this feeling of I've worked my tail off. I finally signed with an amazing university. Um, and everybody that has helped me do it is elated and happy as heck. There's nothing like that feeling. That feeling is amazing. And we want to make sure that all of you young football players have the opportunity to feel that. So, once again, please like and subscribe. Keep tapping in with us because we're going to get you to the top. And then also tell all your friends, your teammates, your parents, and your coaches. Once again, I'm Coach Wood. Unless anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, we'll see you Thursday on the Locker Room Show. You guys have a good one.